Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single weekday. So if you are new here, please make sure to like and subscribe and press the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We have unfortunately seen Bitcoin move slightly to the downside in the last 24 hours. We have Bitcoin sat just above the $28,000 level. Now we do have Ethereum down as well, down to $1,918. Ethereum's holding its way. It's a little bit better than Bitcoin is right now, so we need to keep an eye on this. The 7-day chart isn't looking too good. However, overall, 2023 has not been a bad year for us. We are seeing a little bit of a retracement now. It's not the end of the world. We will be doing some Bitcoin analysis at the end of today's stream, so make sure to stay tuned until the end. Let's take a look at how the cryptocurrency news is. Now, I've stopped streaming onto Binance Live for today, so the stream should be a lot more steadier than it has been this week. I'm still trying to work out some Wi-Fi issues, but let me know in the chat if there are any problems. Let's take a look now at the first piece of news of the day, which is discussing Elon Musk. We've got two Elon Musk stories today. First of all, we have Elon Musk accusing Microsoft of illegally using Twitter's data to help train its AI, and he's actually threatened them with a lawsuit. Now, this comes after Elon created a company just over a week ago, I believe, called X.AI, all on his mission to create the everything app called X. And X.AI is said to be a competitor to ChatGPT. So when he's seeing Microsoft creating AI tools and they're using his Twitter data to train it, he's obviously going to have a problem with this. He's trying to build an application within that market. He doesn't want his competitors to be able to succeed by using his data. So obviously he's going to have a problem with this. Let's take a look at this article. So the Tesla CEO responded to another tweet that stated Microsoft had dropped Twitter from its advertising platform. And starting on April 25th, 2023, smart campaign. We've gone way past the piece of news here. We can see here Elon Musk has tweeted they trained illegally using Twitter's data. Lawsuit time. So he's put this on Twitter and he's added, "I'm open to ideas, but ripping off the Twitter database, demonetizing it, removing ads, and then selling our data to others isn't a winning solution." So we can see here on Twitter the tweets he's made to this. Let's take a look at what else has happened here. So Microsoft is going to drop Twitter from its advertising platform, and this was announced by Microsoft, and this is going to start on April the 25th this year, so in just 4 days time. We've also seen that Elon Musk had earlier said he is developing a ChatGPT rival, so that is what I've just been discussing there. Musk has said, "I'm going to start something which I call Truth GPT, or a maximum truth seeking AI that tries to understand the nature of the universe," Elon Musk told Tucker Carlson, "and I think this might be the best path to safety in the sense that an AI that cares about understanding the universe is unlikely to annihilate I can't say that word, humans, because we are an interesting part of the universe." So this is a really interesting point. Elon Musk and a few other big players have tried to put sign a protest to pause the development of giant AI whilst they try and understand its risks. But that hasn't really got ahead. So Elon Musk is plugging away at continuing to be within the competition. If you can't beat him, join him. It's essentially what's been happening here. So that's what's going on there. We will keep a close eye on this and see if this lawsuit actually does come into fruition. Let's move on because we have some more stories about Elon Musk. Elon Musk and Tesla have been hodling their Bitcoin through Q1 of 2023. Now, they bought back in 2021, and for a short period of time, people could use Bitcoin to buy Teslas. It could be used as a form of payment. Unfortunately, that didn't last very long because of the way Bitcoin is mined, and it's not very environmentally friendly, or so it's said not to be. So Elon Musk dropped that position and said that you can no longer buy Tesla using Bitcoin, but he never said no to it occurring again in the future if we can sort out the energy used to mine Bitcoin. But what we can see here is they've been investing in Bitcoin in 2021, and they're still holding on to that through Q1 of 2023. This was seen in the financial reports of Tesla. So we can see here that they are holding 10,725 Bitcoin. So positivity there. People always like to see Elon Musk holding assets. It just attracts a wider audience and may help bring new users into the cryptocurrency space. I'm not a huge fan of Elon Musk having an effect on the cryptocurrency industry. he can have such big impacts on the prices of assets. We've seen it with Dogecoin, and we have seen it with Bitcoin as well when he was discussing having it as a means of payment for Tesla. So he can actually impact the markets pretty significantly. That's not something I'm a fan of. I don't particularly like to see that within the markets, but now he's bought the Tesla, have bought Bitcoin, and they're holding on to that for the long term. And all four of them attracting new users into the space and driving adoption. Let's move on now to cryptocurrency regulation within the EU, because we have a lot to discuss on this today. We have the EU Parliament greenlights let's make this a little bit bigger so people can see this. Greenlights landmark MiCA regulation for digital assets. So this hasn't yet been agreed, but it's being pushed forward. So they've passed the MiCA regulation, setting the path to a more transparent crypto regulatory regime in Europe. So what they're trying to do here is regulate cryptocurrency as the EU rather than individual countries trying to set their own rules. And this is so much easier for the cryptocurrency industry. It means that companies can go into the EU and they can grow and they can get regulated in the correct way and they can continue to move forwards and try and grow their business rather than trying to comply with all of these individual regulators. So what we can see here is after 2 years of deliberation, the Parliament voted 517 in favour of the legislation against only 38 in opposition and 18 not voting, according to results shared by Blockchain for Europe. So now the MiCA rules need to be passed by the EU Council before it becomes effective. So that's the last stage of this process. We can see further down in this article that CZ has agreed that this is a good decision for the cryptocurrency markets. We've seen here that we can see that CZ has said it means one of the world's largest markets is introducing tailored regulations for crypto to protect users and support innovation. He's also said the fine details will matter, but overall we think this is a pragmatic solution to the challenges we are collectively facing. There are now clear rules of the game for crypto exchanges to operate in the EU. So the EU Council is expected to officially approve this next month, followed by the official journal publication in June, and the entire application of the regulation will begin in January 2025. So having that broader regulation where we can say that if you follow these guidelines, you can be regulated in the entirety of the EU means it's so much easier for cryptocurrency companies. We have the clarity on the regulation, something we are missing within the US. And just to clarify what this regulation is, we can see this within this article. So it sets the standardized guidelines under which stablecoin issuers, crypto service providers, and other activities such as token issuance and trading can be regulated across the European regions. So this smoothens the complications crypto companies face when navigating rules in different countries. Now, we have pointed out in this article that it does miss out any of the guidelines for DeFi and is still considered a massive step towards supporting and providing regulatory clarity for the cryptocurrency industry. So it is expected that regulating DeFi will come later down the line. The lawmakers also voted for another regulation called the Transfer of Funds Regulation, which requires cryptocurrency companies to verify the identity of users using KYC, know your customer protocols, for anti-money laundering purposes. So we are going to see more regulations and more things being passed in the EU to try and regulate cryptocurrencies in the correct way. But having this blanket cover for the EU really is a helpful step for cryptocurrencies, as long as the fine details are correct and still allow cryptocurrency companies to grow. But overall, I would call this a success. Let's move on to the next article here. We need to talk about the UK. So the UK government investigating the profitability of crypto mining rigs at waste landfill sites. Pretty interesting stuff here. Now, the UK government wanted to become a cryptocurrency hotspot. They really didn't make any big moves and it kind of died down. We didn't see anything coming from this. And now we are starting to see a little bit more movement. However, the banks aren't really playing ball at this point. They are making it quite difficult for retail investors. They're putting limitations on how much they will work with cryptocurrency companies and individuals wanting to make transactions between cryptocurrency companies as well. However, the UK government has started to actually start spinning the wheel on this. So we can see here the UK government is investigating the profitability of crypto mining rigs at waste landfill sites. So let's take a look at this. So they're looking for alternative methods to generate revenue at landfill sites, with on-site crypto mining rigs as one potential idea. So they've contracted a research and development firm to investigate the feasibility of placing equipment for renewable energy generation on landfill sites. The contractors will research whether they could utilize the electricity produced at these sites to run profit-generating enterprises. In the contract, crypto mining is the single example of a project that a microgenerator could power. Now, this would be really, really interesting. So we're trying to look at ways that we can mine Bitcoin without wasting so much energy and causing harm to the environment. This is something that we've all wanted to see for a while, and something that Elon Musk definitely rose awareness for when he stopped allowing Bitcoin to be used as a form of payment for Tesla. He said we need to wait until we use more renewable energy to mine Bitcoin. So that's kind of started to push people into realizing that this is still a problem that we need to work on for Bitcoin. It was an ongoing fight before this, but it really started to put things in motion, and now we are seeing the UK government looking to benefit from this. So on-site crypto mining rigs, let's take a look at this. The agency explained that the contract was prompted by the fact that the Renewables Obligation Certificate Scheme, which supports landfill gas electricity generation, will end in 2027. Landfill companies are looking for alternative ways to use the infrastructure, connecting them to the electricity grid as the amount of biogas produced by landfill sites runs out. So they stated that the profit-generating projects could be powered using electricity exported via the existing infrastructure at landfill sites. Still, some on-site projects could involve freestanding infrastructure, e.g. microgeneration for crypto mining. So I imagine they'd be mining Bitcoin at these points. It would be a very, very interesting thing, and it would actually drive a lot of adoption, I think, if people could see that the UK government were getting involved in mining Bitcoin. I imagine a lot of people would pay a lot more attention to the ecosystem. Let's take a look at the next article now. Before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe and press the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. It looks like the connection is all good today, so I'm happy to see that. Let's crack on with the next article here. We have Coinbase obtains license to operate in Bermuda, boosting its plans for a derivatives exchange. Now, this is definitely something that I think Coinbase need to work on, something they are missing out on. They're missing out on this opportunity, probably down to the regulations in the US, which is where their headquarters are and where they earn the most revenue. But we can see here the company revealed via a blog post that Coinbase Bermuda Limited contained a Class F license under the Digital Asset Business Act from the Bermuda Monetary Authority. So the Coinbase team stated that they chose Bermuda for its implementation of the comprehensive digital asset regulation dating back to 2018 and its crypto-friendly regulatory environment known for a high level of rigor, transparency, compliance, and cooperation. So big moves there from Coinbase. We did see in yesterday's news that Coinbase were in discussions with the UK and seeing how we can regulate cryptocurrency in the correct way. He did praise the way the UK are choosing to regulate cryptocurrency all through the FCA, and said that it was much clearer than the regulatory work in the US. So we've been praised on that. He also discussed moving the headquarters of Coinbase to the UK. Now, this isn't something that he has ruled out. He has said it's a possibility. Coinbase's main revenue comes from the US, but the UK is its second source. So maybe this is something that could happen in the future if the US fail to provide clarity on its regulations within the next couple of years. Let's take a look on the next article here. We have Gemini to expand its operations to Asia. So we're seeing many different cryptocurrency exchanges shuffle around recently, dependent on regulation. Choosing to move out of the US seems to be a common thing, and choosing to move into Asia, specifically Hong Kong, is proven to be common as well. And now we are seeing Gemini move in to Asia. So trying to spread across the globe and get into different markets, essentially. We will quickly move on to the next cryptocurrency news here. We have Montenegro prosecutors indict Terra's Do Kwon for document forgery. So we can see here that he's been charged with forging ID documents less than a month after their arrest in Montenegro. So it's Terra's executive and Do Kwon that is in this problem. Let's take a look at this. Montenegro's prosecutors have indicted Kwon, the disgraced CEO and co-founder of Terraform Labs, and the company's former chief financial officer, Han Chang-jun, over the forgery of official documents. So according to a report from Block Media on the 20th of April, the prosecutor's office of the state of Podgorica charged Kwon and Chang-jun with forging legal documents and requested an extension of their detention period. So this is really, really shocking. We thought Do Kwon had done enough. Clearly not. This is a huge accusation to be made. We will be keeping an eye on this as the news unwraps. So make sure to follow us here on Crypto Saving Expert. Make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com as well. If you go over there and you press this big blue button here and you create an account here, make sure to tick this button there as well. And you get access to our newsletters every single Tuesday at 11 a.m. BST time. And that wraps up what's happened in the world of crypto, and it shows what we expect to see in the next week of crypto as well. So it's really useful to give you a little rundown of what's going on in the world of crypto if you are a busy person and you can't stay up to date with the markets. Let's move on to the next article today. I'm really tripping over my own words today. We have here Sotheby's to begin auction of 3 Arrows Capital's NFT assets next month. So 3 Arrows Capital is one of the companies that failed to continue through the bear market of 2022. It was a disastrous year, and we're seeing all of those companies get liquidated and their assets be dispersed. And I don't know what the word is that I'm trying to look for there. Spread across into the markets, and we're now seeing 3 Arrows Capital's multi-million-dollar NFT collection be auctioned off. So we're seeing the sale of those assets as expected. Let's move on to the next article here. We have Lord Spud saying in the chat, the newsletter is boss. It really is. You should check it out if you haven't already. Make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com and just sign up to that completely for free. Next article we have here, also in the companies that failed during 2022, we had BlockFi. So the bankrupt crypto lender BlockFi is getting more time to finalize restructuring plan. So all of these companies have filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which is essentially a restructuring plan, trying to organize their finances and see how they can move forward. So they have weeks to finalize the restructuring plan, but they have now managed to move that back just a little bit. So according to a court document dated on the 19th of April, the bankruptcy judge ruled that BlockFi's filing exclusivity period has been extended by 48 days. So they are still continuing to work on this. And they've explored the idea of selling their assets, but we'll see how this plays out in the next couple of weeks. I want to run through this quickly because we have some interesting stories. We have the founder of defunct crypto exchange Thodex extradited to Turkey to face fraud charges. Now, the founder of a cryptocurrency exchange ran away with $2 billion worth of customer funds, and he's now returned to face fraud charges brought against him. Now, how can you be so stupid? Obviously, you are going to get caught for this. You cannot hide from that decision. But let's move on to the next one here. We also have seen the Bearer Chain raise $42 million in a Series A round at a $420 million valuation. So that is a huge valuation. We see these massive valuations in the world of cryptocurrency over and over again. Let's move on to the price of Bitcoin now. I want to take a look at what's been going on with the Bitcoin chart, do a little bit of Bitcoin analysis and see what's going on in the world of crypto. We have seen Bitcoin have a little bit of a retrace. I mean, if we just zoom out, we can see that this isn't really too much of a problem. We see pullbacks in the world of crypto. I mean, people seem to forget how often we see pullbacks in the bull market. It's not uncommon to see 30-40% pullbacks for Bitcoin. Right now, we are down. Let's see what this percentage is. We are currently down. Let's get this right. From the very, very top to where we are now, 9.8%. Now that's not uncommon for Bitcoin at all. We may see a further move to the downside. We may even see some more lows, but I'm personally not expecting to see that just yet. If we take a look at the 4-hour chart, I like to take things day by day. We can see here we did have 2 levels of previous resistance that we were hoping to act as a level of support at the $28,800 level and the $28,600 level. They did hold for a short period of time, but then they did get broken down below. We are currently looking at a level of support that acted as a support between the 30th of March and the 9th of April at $27,700. And we also have some levels of support here at $26,900 and $26,600. So we're keeping an eye on on those. We can also take a look at the RSI and the MACD like we usually do, just to check in on those indicators and see how they're looking. In terms of the 4-hour chart, we have the MACD showing that bearish momentum is weakening, and we can also see that the RSI is actually in the oversold region. Now, this isn't an immediate indicator that we are going to see a reversal of that momentum, but it just shows that it's looking like the asset is at an extreme point right now where we are seeing us be in oversold territory. So definitely something to keep an eye on. I'm waiting to see how long it takes for one of these supports to start to hold, and then we can see which price range we are bound between for the next move to the sideways action. Really, it is going to be the weekend. Obviously, this is Friday. I had forgot about that while I was discussing the Bitcoin price there. So we have the CME gap. This is going to start tonight. So let's take a look at that quickly. Going to BTC1 exclamation mark. It does not feel like a Friday at all today, I don't think. We can see here that we have the CME chart, which is the CME at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, which is the world's biggest derivatives exchange. They are operational Monday to Friday, and when they are closed over the weekend, we can create gaps in the market. Currently, for the price of Bitcoin, we have 2 CME gaps, and these gaps act like magnets for the Bitcoin price. We have one up at $35,230, and we have one down at $20,300. Now, it's debatable over which one will close first, whether they even will get closed. We can see here that we are going to open a CME gap at this point here. My worst fear is seeing the price of Bitcoin move to the upside over the weekend, having that CME gap below us, because typically we do tend to close these CME gaps at the start of each week on a Monday and Tuesday. There's a high probability that we do tend to close that gap, but over the weekends typically we do just see sideways action. So if we can manage to start to hold this support today, or even these down here, we can start to understand what range we are going to be trading in over the weekend, or have a high probability of trading in over the weekend. But we'll have to see how this support holds, and if it's strong enough to hold us at this point, or if we should be looking down at those lower levels of $26,900 and $26,600. But that is all of my analysis for the day. So thank you very much for tuning in with us. As always, thank you very much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and press the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. I feel like I've been half asleep today. I definitely should have had a coffee before we started today's stream. Not feeling as awake as I usually do, but it's been a long week and it's Friday, so I think it's allowed. I will see you all back here on Monday for more cryptocurrency analysis and more